اهلا. الحلقه الرابعه. بلشنا الحلقه الاولى مع منو؟ مع دلبوسكي، مدريد واسبانيا. الثانيه وروبر بيريز، ارسنال والمنتخب الفرنسي. الثالثه دوايت يورك، مانشستر يونايتد وترينداد توباغو. انطرني اذا في احد يشجع الفريق الثاني، بس احنا بس نذكر ان لما لعبوا ضد البحرين وكان ودي ان البحرين يتاهلوا ببطوله كاس العالم. هالمره لاعب مر بعده محطات: محطه ليفربول، محطة برشلونة، محطة تشيلسي، محطة أرسنال، ميدلزبرا، والمنتخب الهولندي. بولو زيندن، هذا اللاعب المميز واللي يتميز انه يلعب في عدة مراكز، ممكن يلعب في خط الوسط، ممكن كجناح، ممكن كظهير. ايضا هو كان لاعب جودو، وسألناه عن الربط ما بين الجودو وكرة القدم، بالإضافة لعدة محطات. هو حقق الدوري الإسباني، بالإضافة أنه هو زامل العديد من العناصر اللي تحولوا كمدربين: تشافي، بيب جوارديولا، انريكي. يعني تقريبا هو نفسه قال لي كل الفريق تقريبا صاروا مدربين. ما ودي احرق عليكم المقابله، يعني هذه مجرد مقدمه بسيطه. بالاضافه انه هو عاشر اكثر من جيل هولندي، يعني الاجيال الهولنديه من ال 98 اللي وصل نصف نهائي كاس العالم وخسر امام المنتخب البرازيلي بركلات الترجيح، وامتدادا لبطولات كاس العالم اللي بعدها. ايضا مغامرته الحلوه اللي كانت في بطوله اليورو 2004، المنتخب الهولندي ايضا ما كان سهل. فبالتالي عندنا عده محاور مع هذا النجم، واللي ان شاء الله باذن الله تستمتعون في هذه الحلقه. طبعا واضح البلوفر معناته شنو؟ توقف دولي. انا لحظتي هذه لحد الحين ما ادري شو نتيجتنا بتكون الجنوبيه. يا رب ايجابيه. والمباراه القادمه مع منو؟ مع المنتخب الاردني، وان شاء الله نتيجه حلوه. البلوفر الجميل هذا راح تحصلون في الديسكربشن رابط الانستغرام، وايضا بحط لكم ايضا رقمه في حال احد يبي يدخل واتساب دايركت تواصل معاهم. الخامه صراحه كواليتي، شغل مرتب عدل، وايضا يخفي الكرش هيغوايين. يعني ما يحتاج اوضح لكم شنو الكرش هيغوايين، انت عاد فهمها بطريقتك. الكرش هيغوايين مهاجم اليوفي، اوكي. فيعني ان شاء الله الامور طيبه. فيزيو خليك صاحي، انت للحين سبونسر معاي. ترى مسؤوليتك الانفلات اللي قاعد يصير وسوء السلوك. يعني احنا مو بس نتكلم عن البلوفر، لا احنا نتكلم عليك يا فيزيو. تكفى جداول اونلاين شيء، دق علي خليكم هناك. يعني لا تقصروا معانا. وايضا لازم نستذكر ادزون. شكرا جزيلا ان خلال الاسبوعين اللي طافوا كل ربع يطالعون ويقولون هذا صاحبي، هذا رفيجي. قبل انا اقول عن روبرتسون، اقول عن متروفيتش، اقول لا الحين صارت تنقال لي بسبه منو؟ بسبه ادزون. مشكورين يا ادزون على هذه الاعلانات المميزه واللي تواجد في الكويت من الشمال للجنوب، في كل مكان، في الجمعيات، في الاماكن اللي نقدر نقول سياحيه. يعني حتى اللي بيروح كاس الخليج راح يشوف يجي طالعني هذا ماله ايه. ان شاء الله راح تحصلوني هناك، بعدها اشوف لك اي مطعم قريب وتعشى فيه. فان شاء الله تستمتعون بالحلقه هذه، ابيكم تشوفونها وتسمعون شنو اللي قاله هذا اللاعب وتعطونا وجهات نظركم. Hello Zindon, how are you? I hope you are doing well.
I'm perfect, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a really great pleasure to speak to you, and I'm a Liverpool fan myself.
Ooh, that's always nice to hear.
Yeah, thank you very much. I always remember the good old days.
Well, we always talk about the good old days, but I guess that nowadays there's also nice things to watch. So every period has spectacular moments.
Yeah, and I would like to talk about your career. You have played for big clubs around the world, a great career for you and great memories. So which place do you miss more?
Ooh, I've been very lucky to be playing in many different countries, different competitions. And I was also lucky enough to win some prizes and have good moments at the different clubs. Of course, one of the big moments in football was to be playing the Champions League final. But unfortunately, with Liverpool, we lost that one. So it always gives a sour taste in your mouth. Even playing for the national team at 3 major tournaments, 3 times semi-finalist, but still got away with no trophy, which is obviously a pity. But yeah, all in all, you can imagine also playing for Barcelona is something spectacular, with great fans, big stadium, nice city, good atmosphere, good weather. So and we won the league, so that always gives something extra.
Yeah, and which place do you think you found it the most pressure there?
I think pressure is everywhere, but maybe I have to say Barcelona, because at Barcelona, if you have a draw, it's been seen as a loss.
Oh.
So it's this place where you have to win your games, and not only win them, but also play nice football. So it's, for me, it's maybe the place where it's most demanding.
Yeah, and there is some good memories at Barcelona winning the league. Tell me about your feeling when you win it.
Oh, of course, you can imagine that you work hard all season to win the trophy, to win the league, and in the end, to be able to succeed is something special. So yeah, of course, when it happens, it's always a good moment, and you always remember the time when you celebrate the trophy with the fans. You know, when you go with the big open bus through the city, that's always special. And I've done the same with PSV, and I've done the same when we won the League Cup with Middlesbrough. Always to celebrate the trophy with the fans is the most pressure.
Yeah, and your teammates at Barcelona, they are all amazing. They have played very beautiful football. So, which player impressed you most?
Well, I wouldn't say particularly at Barcelona, but when I started my career at PSV Eindhoven, I came through the ranks as a youngster, and when my first year at the first team at the professionals, I was linked up with Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, and I think it's with great reason why they call him El Fenomeno, because he was probably the most spectacular player that I played with. And of course, I can still name maybe 20 other players at Chelsea, at Barcelona, at Liverpool. But if I have to pick one, then I'll probably go for Ronaldo.
Yeah, he's absolutely amazing. And regarding your Barcelona career, you have played with Pep Guardiola. Did you expect him to be that great manager?
Well, I would have expected him to be a manager, because he was always involved in the tactics, and he was always trying to set up the team, and he was a link-up player from the back. He was brought up with the philosophy of Johan Cruyff. So yeah, I think you could see that he would become a manager, but I think nobody would imagine that he would be so successful. Obviously, he's won was it maybe 16 trophies with Barcelona, and then he won again with Bayern Munich. Then at Manchester City, they won so many trophies, like Champions Leagues. Now he's won for the fourth time the World Cup for club teams, which is another record. So he's an amazing manager. Of course, sometimes you might discuss and say that, yeah, but it's easy because you have been a manager at Barcelona and Bayern Munich and City, so it's normal that to win trophies. But it's not normal. You know how long it took to win the Champions League. I think even a club like Paris Saint-Germain, they're still struggling, still wanting to win the Champions League. So it's not easy. And to be able to work with the biggest players in football, yeah, maybe you can say it's easy, but it's only easy for the first 11, because you still have to manage the other 11 that are just as good as the 11 starters. And that makes it probably not an easy job, but he's doing fantastic.
Yeah, and Xavi as well. Yeah, he was your teammate, and he also won the league as a manager for Barca.
Yes, last year I went to visit Barcelona, and I saw Xavi at training ground, and he's a good manager. He's a great character. As you said, he already won the league, but you also hear me before when I say there's a lot of pressure in Barcelona for winning, and always when the results are just a little bit off, then there's the pressure is on. So I hope they can get good results again soon, and then get back to positive vibes, because he's a very good manager. And it's funny to see that from my time in Barcelona, there's a lot of players that end up being a manager. like even Philip Cocu was manager, Luis Enrique was manager. At Chelsea, Frank Lampard became manager. At Liverpool, Steven Gerrard, Xabi Alonso, they all became manager. Sami Hyypiä was manager. So it's I think when you play at these big teams, there's always a possibility of a new manager being amongst you.
Yeah, and for Netherlands, I think they are very unlucky in World Cup '98 when you were there and you have played against Brazil, and unfortunately you didn't make it through to the final.
No, it's always it always comes down to the details. If you go to the final or win the final, so it's not easy to qualify. It's not easy to be European or world champion. Everything has to be correct. And when I played the World Cup '98, we lost the semi-finals on penalties. When we played the semi-finals in 2000, we lost to Italy on penalties. I think in 2004, when I played in the Euros in Portugal, we lost the semi-final, but Portugal was a better team than us. So that's fair enough. So it always seems easy to be winning, but it's not. Obviously, Holland is a small country. We don't have a lot of football players, but we have some good ones. And sometimes we can go really far. I think it was 2010 when we lost the final to Spain, only to lose 1-0 after there was a red card for the Netherlands. So it's as I say, it's not easy to win. I'm sure it's easier to lose than to win.
Yeah, and for the generations, which generation do you think it's the best for Netherlands?
It's difficult to say. I think in '98 we had a really good generation, good teams. We could have gone all the way to the final. I even heard that France was happy that Holland lost in the semi-finals on penalties, which is a big compliment. But then again, you don't get nothing back for it. There was a period in 2010 when they lost the final. That was really close. They had another one, 2014. I think they were third in the World Cup as well. Yeah. So there's been some good times, but so I also feel like it's like momentum and a period. You know, you have a period of where you have a lot of players playing at the best level, and then it goes down a bit and you go up again. I think in every country is a little bit the same. It's not like you can always play at the highest level. Even like Spain, they had a period where they won everything and then it went down a bit. Same was with France. They won everything and then it went down a bit. So it's always like it's like the waves and the tide, you know. Yeah. It comes and goes.
Yeah, and for now's generation, you don't think they can win some trophies? I think it's a difficult time now for Netherlands.
Yes. No, the Netherlands, they're getting a little bit better, but they've been struggling. They had too many injured players. They had a lot of players not performing well for the teams, for their own teams. You had players that were not playing at the biggest in the biggest competitions or the biggest teams. So that's always difficult. I think when the team is really good, the national team, it's when they have everybody on top level. But it's good to see that they're coming back slowly. They're qualified now for the next Euros, so they will definitely be there in Germany. It will be interesting to see if Ronald Koeman can get everybody back to their best form, because that is necessary to be able to win a trophy.
Yeah, and for Gakpo, I think you have watched him closely, especially in Netherlands. Where do you think it's the best position for him?
I worked really close with Cody Gakpo when I was at PSV. I was managing him. We worked a lot on finishing, crossing, be influential in the game. I think his best position was still coming from the left side. In and be clinical in the finishing and crossing. But I know at Liverpool, because there were some injuries, he also played as a striker. For the national team, sometimes he played as a fake number 10. So he's a versatile player who can play in many different positions. But maybe he's more best at ease when he's coming a little bit from the left side.
Yeah. And when we talk about your career at Middlesbrough, yeah, of course, we should remember the final and winning the League Cup. Tell me about your feeling.
Well, for Middlesbrough, it was the first trophy they won in the history of the club. Because we won the League Cup, it also put us into European competition. So that was also special for the club. We were playing in European competitions. You know, the fans can be traveling to different cities around Europe, and we did quite well. But obviously, as I said, once again, on the day, to be able to win the League Cup and be important with 1 assist and 1 goal, it's something that you will always remember. To be playing in the stadium full of what was it? I think 67,000 fans were there. But also once again afterwards to have the celebration with the fans in the city, that was a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, and I like your dance with Asamoah Gyan.
Yeah, I think Asamoah Gyan is a better dancer. I think he does well. They call him Baby Jet. You probably know he's a rapper as well. But I just try to join in because we won with Sunderland at Stamford against Chelsea in their stadium with 3-0. I think any dance could do when you win 3-0 at Chelsea.
Yeah. And for your career at Liverpool, yeah, the Champions League final was very difficult to take because I think Liverpool played very well.
Yeah, it was hard to take because I think we did okay. We were a little bit equal to Milan, but I think they scored a very lucky goal. The first one was a free kick from Pirlo, and it hit Inzaghi on his back, and it was a deflection, and the goalkeeper could not do anything. So that set them up nicely in the game. The 2-0 one was a very good goal from Milan, I have to admit. But we came back to 2-1, but the time was too short to get the equalizer and get into the extra time. So, you know, losing a final is probably the worst feeling as well.
Yeah, but for the semi-final, you played against Mourinho, the penalty shootout. Yeah, I think Liverpool had a great mentality that time.
Yeah, we were a good team. We were really hard to beat. In the quarterfinals, I think we beat Barcelona, and then in the semi-finals, we had to beat Chelsea. We lost away at Stamford Bridge 1-0, but we still had the home advantage to play another game. We knew we were able to win it. So we won 1-0 at home. So that meant extra time and penalty shootout. I remember I took the first penalty in the shootout, and we also know that with a goalkeeper like Pep Guardiola, he's a penalty killer. Yeah. We knew he was going to help us, so he stopped 2 penalties, I think. And in the end, it was Dirk Kuyt who scored penalty number 5. And it was a great moment at Anfield. You know, when you talk about Anfield, the European nights and the atmosphere with the fans, it gives you like goosebumps. That was definitely a night to remember.
Yeah, and I think Mourinho tried to get on your minds before the game. He always tries to throw the mind games.
Maybe he tried, but it didn't work with us that day.
Yeah. And for Rafa Benitez, yeah, you have worked with him as a player and as assistant manager. Tell me about your experience as assistant manager in Chelsea.
Well, he's a manager that really likes to know everything about the game and about the opposition. He always into the tactics, tries to prepare the players the best he can. And I think you can see by his record that he won so many games, so many trophies as well. So he's a great manager.
Yeah, and during that season, yeah, you have become a mid-season, but Chelsea have overachieved, yeah, with winning Europa League and finishing third in the league.
Yeah, we came in November, so there was only 1 game left in the Champions League to be able to qualify. But we end up finishing third in the group. So the only thing that we could do is win the Europa League. And we did win the Europa League in Amsterdam in the Johan Cruyff Arena. We beat Benfica on the night. Was great. We also got to semi-finals in the FA Cup. We lost to Manchester City, unfortunately. And then in the league itself, we finished third after being, I think we were seventh in the league when we arrived. So all in all, it was a very good performance.
Yeah, when you came back to Anfield, Suarez bite Ivanovic. Do you remember the incident?
Yeah, well, I think the incident happened in front of the eyes of the whole world. Everybody can remember what happened, but it's crazy scenes. But yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, did Ivanovic say anything in the dressing room?
Probably showed his mark.
Yeah, because when they asked Rafa after the game, he said, "I did not see the incident."
Yeah, well, nowadays you see everything thanks to the VAR and the cameras.
Yeah, and tell us about your experience with Steve Bruce as a manager, in Sunderland.
Well, it was a special period because Sunderland was a slightly different club. What I mean is that the whole interest of the club and the team was to be able to stay in the Premier League. So the pressure was really on when you got to the bottom side of the league. But I think my second year, we finished 10th in the league, which was the best qualification for Sunderland in maybe the whole career of the club. So that was something special.
Yeah, and regarding for the different sports, other than football, judo, what did it add to you?
Well, I think judo helped me a lot. My family business at home, there is a health club which has judo. So I started at the age of 4 to do judo, and I did it all the way up till I was 17 and became a professional football player. I have the black belt, which is the first dan in judo, and I think it really helped me because it's a complete sport. It's like it's one-on-one, which is sometimes the same in football. There's physique. It's the same in football. You learn how to fall. So sometimes you see a player fall over, then they get injured. Even last night, there was Liverpool, was Tsimikas, who was pushed by the Arsenal defender. Or Saka, it was.
Saka, yeah.
And then he fell on his shoulder and he had his shoulder dislocated probably. So if you do judo, it's easier to make a good fall and don't get injured. So that also helped me. So all in all, yeah, it's a very complete sport.
Yeah, and regarding your career as overall, I want you to name me the starting lineup for the players that you had played with.
Ooh, that's always difficult because I had so many players that I played with. Well, let's start. In goal, I will put Edwin van der Sar, the goalkeeper of the Dutch national team and played for Ajax many years. And obviously for Juventus and Manchester United. Then in the back, I would go for John Terry, Marcel Desailly, and I will maybe put as well Jaap Stam.
Oh,
I think everybody know the names. I don't think they need the introduction. And then in the middle, I will probably put Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Xabi Alonso and Xavi. And up front, of course, it has to be Ronaldo. And then we'll put Rivaldo on the left and Figo on the right.
Yeah, that's amazing lineup. Yeah, and I know there are a lot of players.
Oh, I can choose.
With,
I can make 2 or 3 more teams.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Bolo, for your time. Thank you very much for all of this. Yeah, and I really liked your interview.
Well, it was a pleasure to be on your show. So good luck to you and to everybody listening or watching.
بعد نهاية هذه المقابلة أنا دائما اللي طالع المقابلة كاملة أحس لازم أكافئه. أنت الحين اللي قاعد طالع للحين ترى أعرفكم وشايف وقاعد طالع وأدقق. أنت اللي طالع الحين صدقني إني أحبك. إي والله مو قاعد غش. أنا أي واحد طالع الحلقة كاملة لا هذا عندي محل تقدير واحترام. لا هذا أحبه بادل المحبة أحس إنه قاعد معي بديوانية وقاعد أسولف ومعطيني على جوي. مو نفس مخرجنا جاسم مرات يقول لي ايه يعطي لا هذا قاعد يطالعني، لا هذا يحبني وانا احبه. فان شاء الله اتمنى انكم استمتعتوا بهذه الحلقه، لا تنسون لايك شير سبسكرايب، يعني ضبطوا الامور عشان ان القناه تضمن الانتشار اكثر. والحمد لله الارقام بدات تصير تصاعديه، قاعد نشوف اسهم خضراء. مشكورين على هذه المتابعه، وان شاء الله نشوفكم على خير.